Good evening and welcome to SUTV Live. Tonight the Championship's top two go head-to-head right here at Bramall Lane. The Blades, currently unbeaten in their last 5, take on a Reading side who are rejuvenated under Paul Ince. They come here riding a 3-game winning streak and are currently top of the pile in the Championship. Last season this fixture had a dramatic finale, but it's Blades boss Paul Heckingbottom who hopes to have the last laugh tonight. Kickoff is just under 45 minutes away, and remember to go to sufc.co.uk for all the details surrounding tonight's game. Well, very good evening. Welcome inside our studio here at the heart of Bramall Lane. Reading, the early pace setters in the Championship table, are in town. We mentioned that dramatic finale from last season. We'll be looking in a little bit more detail at that later on in the build-up to tonight's game. But firstly, let me introduce you to our two guests who are along for the ride. On the far end of the studio, Mark, you're only a small figure. You seem a long way away there. You well?
No, I'm good. You?
Small figure, big in stature, though. and alongside you, representing the Sheffield United's women's team, defender Ellie Wilson, back on set with us. Great to have you with us.
Yeah, great to be here.
And the last time we had you last season, you were recovering from a fairly serious ACL knee injury. How's that going?
I was, yeah. Touch wood, back now. So just getting pre-season under our belts and, should be good to go soon.
Back fit, back training, ready to go?
Yeah, just edging back into games now. So missed a little bit of pre-season, which wasn't to plan for myself, but I'm more or less there now. So hopefully I'll be involved in the very near future.
And we're going to touch upon the first home game of the season that the Sheffield United women played this past weekend. What do you like as an observer generally? Frustrated, or are you quite good at watching?
It's funny, I literally said on the weekend we played Durham at home, and I was such a nervous watcher, and I was on the bench, so they're supporting the girls and what have you, but I just thought no matter whether we're winning, losing, whatever's going on, I was just so nervous watching the game. So I think it's easier when you play in, you don't think about that. But
well, I can tell you from experience in the studio, and Duff will be right there with me in this, it gets no easier watching the Sheffield United team at times, but as long as we get the 3 points, we'll be quite happy. We mentioned the top of the Championship table right at the start. Let's have a look at that right now, and there you'll see Reading top spot by a point clear from Sheffield United. Mark, we're not quite out of August yet. Does that table actually matter right now?
It's always good to get a good start to the season. Obviously you want that rather than a poor start. But obviously they're important games. Every game in the Championship is an important game. There's no easy game in the Championship, and Reading have started really well, especially considering what they done last year. So yeah, it is an important game for both teams.
Ellie, when you look at that table, like Mark says, you want to be there or thereabouts no matter what stage of the season it is, but the business end is when it matters. But given where this Sheffield United team were 12 months ago, I imagine it's quite heartening seeing that now, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's a good place to be at this point in the season. You want to hit the ground running, and they've done well in the last few games. Equally so have Reading, but it is also a long season, so it is early doors, but if you're aiming for promotion, which as Sheffield United would be, then that's where you want to be. So hopefully they can stay near and around those sort of top 6 area.
And of course, it's worth pointing out that you know a little bit more than most of us in this studio about Reading, because way back 2015, was it? You started your career with them?
Yeah, so I started there when I was about 8 or 9, barely kicked a ball, and then went into their academy system. And that was where I started growing into the game, getting my first team debut, and then about age 16, I went to Bristol City, but Reading was very much sort of home for me at that time, and that's where I started out. So.
But we're all red and white tonight.
100%, yeah.
Mark, when we look at the job that Paul Ince has done, particularly, because he came in at the back end of last season with Reading in quite some trouble fighting off relegation, are we surprised at how he's been able to turn it around to have the start they've had right now?
He's done a fantastic job, because Reading have struggled for a couple of years in the Championship. They've sort of slipped down the table year after year, but obviously with Paul Ince coming in, he's brought in a lot of experienced players into the Championship, and I think that has really put them in a good place, because you can see some of the signings that they've made and the quality of player that they're established Championship players. And for me, that is exactly what you need. Obviously, you need your young players and you need your exciting youth players coming through as well. But your core team need to be them experienced players.
Well, they've obviously had a good start to the season, but so too have the Blades, of course. That opening weekend defeat at Watford aside, we mentioned right at the top of the show that unbeaten in 5 now in the Championship. Obviously, they'd like to have progressed further in the League Cup. But when you look at those results, what stands out for you particularly, Ellie?
I think, it's just consistency. We've kind of hit a decent run recently, and I think that's the main thing that would be important is to maintain that form. Not conceding goals. We're also performing at the other end. Obviously, we have conceded some in there, but as long as we're performing at the other end of the pitch and people are stepping up to the mark and being able to put the ball in the back of the net, then it kind of counteracts that. Yeah. So, like I say, as long as we can maintain a bit of form in that sense, then I think that's the important thing out of all of those results there. And
the one thing that stood out to me there, Mark, on the graphic was home form. No goals conceded in the last 2 games, 3 points from each of the 3 games. That was a backbone for this team last season. It looks very much like that's continuing again.
Yeah, definitely. Any team coming to Bramall Lane, they know that they're in for a tough game. No matter when you come, they've made it an absolute fortress. The way we play, we get the crowd involved. Everyone gets up, and it's a tough place for anybody to come, as you can see by the charts.
There are some injury concerns, though, even at this early stage of the season for Sheffield United. There's 10 names immediately that come on the chart there. John Fleck, obviously in midfield, is a big blow. Enda Stevens, left wing back, the captain Billy Sharp as well. I wonder though, Ellie, how much of a testament is it to the squad that Hecky's put together that we've still been able to have this strong start to the season despite some really experienced names missing?
Yeah, definitely. There is a mixture of experience and youth across the whole team, and I think despite the names that we are missing, obviously Billy Sharp just recently came back in and is injured now again, but we've seen players step up to the mark in that sort of forward role, and that's important to have that squad depth. And like you say, that it's a long season, and you're going to need to be able to rotate those players. So the fact that we've been doing that and getting results with the squad that we've got and the current injuries is really impressive.
We've obviously bought some players in via the loan market, transfers as well, but Hecky's quite clearly got experience working with the academy. He knows some of the academy players particularly well, and as we can see now, he's brought a number through to make their debuts, many of whom are still with the first team squad as we speak tonight. Mark, how important is that to have a strong academy to back up the first team?
Yeah, it's massively important, and over the years, not just the last 2 years, Sheffield United have always had a fantastic academy. You can go back the last 15 years, and there's some unbelievable players who have gone on and played in the Premier League and represented the country. So it's massively important that they have a strong academy, but it's also important that they get the opportunity so that the younger players see that pathway through and they believe that they can get that opportunity. And for me, you need a manager, someone like Hecky, who will give them that opportunity. So it's been brilliant.
And I suppose, Ellie, as well, the one name that really stands out from that list we've just shown you is Iliman Ndiaye, because of the way he's progressed and clearly got stronger and fitter this off-season.
Yeah, he's absolutely smashed it so far. The start of the season, been putting the ball in the back of the net, and he's looked really strong. I think the games I've watched, his hold-up play's been really good. He wants to get on the ball, turn, commit players, and in terms of confidence for a young player, he's got loads of it at the minute, and that's credit to the environment that he's in, the belief that Paul Heckingbottom has put into him as well, and the team around him. So it's really nice to see a player like Iliman Ndiaye stepping up to the mark, performing, and for the youngsters coming through as well, that's definitely something that they can aspire to be.
Yeah, that's a key point that Ellie makes, Mark, isn't it? That if you're in the academy now and you want to see a clear pathway through to the first team, then Iliman's story is the one to follow.
Exactly, that's exactly what the younger lads need. They're coming through, they're chomping at the bit all the time, and when they see the pathway there and they see these players going on and doing really well in the first team and getting more opportunities, it just gives them that belief that it could be them, and that's what they do, and they just strive for that all the time.
Okay, well, Reading are the visitors, the early pace setters in the Championship table here at Bramall Lane this evening. Let's take a look at the starting lineup Paul Heckingbottom has chosen to take on Paul Ince's Reading then, and it fields 2 changes from the side that started out last Friday evening and ultimately got the 1-1 draw down at Luton. Tommy Doyle comes into the starting lineup for his first league start in Sheffield United colours, and returning to the heart of that defence, Anil Amahodic. Mark, I think he's the one player that's been brought in this off-season that every time he's pulled on a shirt for Sheffield United has impressed everybody in the stadium.
Yeah, definitely. The biggest compliment I could give him is, we haven't really missed Bash, which is hard for me to say. You know, he is a similar version to what Bash is, and he's hit the ground running, and that was always the one thing that we looked at and thought, you know, it could have taken time to get used to the league and the physicality, the speed of it, but he hasn't. You know, he's hit the ground running, and he's been, you know, superb. And obviously giving him a rest the other day is important as well, because, you know, it is a new league and we don't want to pick up any more injuries. So, you know, managing the new players as well is really good.
Chris Basham and James McAtee are the two men that make way and drop down to the bench this evening. Also returning to the bench, Reda Kadra. Ellie, when you're in that starting lineup tonight and you see some of the faces on that bench, despite taking into account the number of players that are out injured, that's got to serve as a motivation, hasn't it, if you want to be successful?
For sure, yeah. There's exciting names on that bench. Reda Kadra is obviously coming back in after having a little bit of a niggle, so he's going to be itching to get on the field. And, you know, the players that are on there are attacking. They want to come on and make a difference in the game. And I think when you talk about squad rotation, you need that. You need players that can come on and make a difference. And the guys that are sitting on the bench there certainly can do that. So it'd be exciting to see what, you know, substitutions are needed and do appear in the game.
Okay, well, kick-off tonight is a little over half an hour away. We did mention the last time Sheffield United were in action was at Luton on Friday night, when they gained a point after this 1-1 draw.
We're underway then. Luton against the Blades as Norwood pings one into the Luton Town half. They'll get another opportunity. Flat delivery, decent header and a goal. Carlton Morris, the scorer. Flying start for Luton Town, and Carlton Morris heads in his second of the campaign. The Blades are behind. Hit by Norwood. Oh, they really connected with that. I could see then shanks the ball into the area. In early from Norwood. Not very well cleared. And then Max Lowe has not back down to the physical challenge, and here he is now. Norrington Davis, chipped cross, just over the head of McBurnie. Pollock was coming in at the far stick. There's a half-time whistle. Norrington Davis, in goes the cross. That's McBurnie getting something on it, and then Berger is in there. Lockie got it clear. McBurnie still hooks it back, and Jay, can he turn? Blocked. Deep one from Norwood. It's off a Luton head, away by Clark, back in by Doyle, flicked on by Egan. McBurnie! Equaliser for Sheffield United, and it's Tommy McBurnie. His play has deserved that goal. Just look at his face, the delight on Ollie McBurnie. It's his first goal in the league since December 2020, and United are back on turn. And again, left for Norwood. Oh, fine strike. Doyle is going to have a go from distance. Doyle. Positive play from Ryan Brewster.
So a point gained then on Friday night. Ollie McBurnie ending his goal-scoring drought. And I'm not entirely sure, Mark Duffy, who was more excited there. Ollie for scoring, or our own Matt Young in the commentary box?
Yeah, listening to Matt there, he was very excited.
He nearly broke the sound system, let me tell you. A point down at Kenilworth Road, though, on a serious note. I've heard fans look at an away game at Luton, say, oh, well, we should be winning that anyway. It's not so straightforward, especially given the form and the atmosphere they've created down there now. That's a tough place to go.
Yeah, it's certainly a tough place to go. You know, it's a tight ground. It's a really old-fashioned ground. The fans are right on top here, and Luton are a good team. That, you know, as they proved last year, where they finished in the league, and it's no easy place to go on a Friday night.
And obviously, it's the type of ground, Ellie, where you can hear every single word of advice that any fan has to offer you. How do you deal with that as a player? Because you can't easily shut it out.
I think, yeah, you'd be lying if you said you didn't notice it at all, to be honest. But certain places are just tough to go, and the fans want to make it, you know, a fortress for those teams and make it as hard as they can for the visitors. So yeah, no doubt you do hear it, but I think as a player you kind of eventually do switch off. But you know, one mistake and they're going to be on your back. So
absolutely. Well, the best way of drowning out the noise is by scoring goals and putting the ball into the net. Ollie McBurnie did that on Friday night, and we started by asking him what it was like to rediscover that goal-scoring touch.
Yeah, it was, like I just said, loads of emotions came out. My head was gone for a couple of minutes. But it was nice. I just said to the boys, there's a feeling, I've missed that feeling, you're a striker, there's no feeling like it. And in front of the fans as well, who've been so good with me, it was a really nice feeling. But, I thought the boys were good today. It was a great performance. We knew before the game that it wasn't going to be a pretty game. It's a tight pitch. We know how they play. They're effective at home. But I thought we showed a lot of character today to come back from 1-0. It was tough when they go up because they can sit back in. But the boys come out second half and attacked it straight away. And a point's a good place at this, a good point at this place.
And as regards the goal, it seemed more like an instinctive finish, like you were in good goal scoring form. So you've still not lost it.
No, I said I did an interview the other day saying I think you don't lose that touch from scoring, but just maybe a bit of confidence. But I think they had a couple at the weekend where I'd probably had a bit too much time, and this one was kind of instinctive, and before you know it, you just have to do what comes natural, and to see it hit the back of the net was a lovely feeling.
I think it was safe to say you could see the relief on Ollie McBurnie's face when he spoke after that game against Luton, Mark. But we look at some of the performances he's put in over the last several weeks now. He's looked sharper, hasn't he, this season?
Yeah, he has. He's getting a run of games. His fitness levels will be getting better. And I think, to be honest, looking at the footage as well and the games I've watched, he's probably been a little bit unlucky, to be honest. The keeper's made a few good saves, and yeah, he possibly could have done a little bit better with some of his finishing. But strikers, you always just want them to hit the target and make the keeper make a save. But obviously, looking on there, it's a fantastic finish, and a player who hopefully now gets confidence through that.
As we watch that footage, Ellie, what stands out to you about Ollie's performances?
Do you know, I was just looking at the goal at the end there, and just how buzzing over the moon he was. That's a relief for a striker, and his work ethic has been spot on. He is in the right place at the right time, and it's just a case of being able to convert those now. So, hopefully he's going to get more chances. And I think sometimes for a striker, just getting that first one does make the difference. So, we've seen that he's in dangerous areas in multiple opportunities just there. So, if he keeps putting himself in those situations, I'd expect he'll get some more goals. Yeah,
we saw a week earlier, Mark, didn't we, against Blackburn? He had 2 or 3 chances when the keeper made great saves, he hit the target, it was hitting defenders or the woodwork. Is relief probably the right description when that ball went in the net last week? Yeah,
certainly he will be relieved, because obviously the longer it goes on, the more people, we talk about it, the fans talk about it, and it becomes more of a bigger thing. And he will just be so pleased to score, and now he'll be open to get another one tonight, and because it does play on the players' minds. No matter how many interviews they do, I just want the team to win and all these things. Yeah, they do, but they also, any striker I know, want to score goals.
You sound like a man speaking from experience.
Well, I was more of a sister. But I was very close to Billy Sharp, and when we would win and he wouldn't score, he would be happy, but he would still be fuming a little bit that he didn't score, and that's just the nature of a striker.
That's what you want to see from your men up top, without a doubt. And it gives manager Paul Heckingbottom another welcome selection dilemma as well, if Ollie McBurnie is amongst those finding the back of the net. And he'll need those options as well as we continue with this hectic championship schedule. A reminder that after tonight, Sheffield United are next in action this Sunday afternoon. It's a 3 o'clock kickoff for that one. We'll be back with you on air on SUTV Live from 2 p.m. And then after that, it's a big South Yorkshire derby. Paul Warne's Rotherham United have started life back in the Championship in impressive form. They took care handily of tonight's visitors, Reading 4-0 a few weeks ago. Well, they are here at Bramall Lane on Saturday, the 10th of September. Again, a 3 p.m. kickoff. We'll be on air once more on SUTV Live from 2 o'clock. And it's never too early, even on the last or penultimate day of August, to start thinking about potential Christmas presents. That is Sheffield United's third kit. It will be available for any handy presents that you might need as stocking fillers come Christmas. We're still 4 months away. Well, maybe a little bit under that, but long enough, no doubt. As we've already mentioned, Mark Duffy's with me alongside Sheffield United women's defender Ellie Wilson. Great to have Ellie with us in the studio tonight. And you and the women were in action for the first time at Bramall Lane this season on Sunday. What did you think of that?
Yeah, it's great to finally be at home. The fact that myself and the girls, the squad, can call this our home is fantastic. And I think it's been a long time coming, but to finally walk out and be able to know that all of our home games are going to be here at the Lane, it is really exciting and just adds a little bit more excitement for us as players, I suppose. We can kind of make this, a tough place to be, as well as the men do. It
helps when you start with a win as well, doesn't it?
Yeah, it definitely does, yeah. Durham are, a tough team, so we knew that was going to be a difficult fixture, but the fact that we've beaten them at home and it be the first home fixture for us, hopefully that run is going to continue in terms of home form.
Well, you've set it up perfectly. Enough from us. Let's take a look at the highlights from Sunday.
Here comes Sweetman Kirk. Knocks it back to Rayner. Takes a long-range shot on, comfortable for Tatiana Saunders, the summer signing from Lewis. Sweetman Kirk down this left-hand flank. Saliki comes close. Sweetman Kirk takes it over. What a goal by Courtney Sweetman Kirk! What a way to get Sheffield United's first goal of the 2022-23 season. A breathtaking drive from Courtney Sweetman. Crossweight loses out for Durham. Lord Mears knocks it long to Sweetman Kirk, who's cut through the middle and lobs it over the top of Saunders for another sensational goal for Courtney Sweetman Kirk. A curling finish for the first, and she timed her run to perfection this time round to dink it over the top of Saunders.
Sheffield United's women then have got their season up and running with an opening home win of the season here at Bramall Lane, 2-0 against Durham. Ellie Wilson still alongside me. That second goal, especially from Courtney Sweetman Kirk, was a fine finish.
It was a very calm finish, wasn't it? It was a great ball from Rima as well, Rima Lord Mears, to just sort of dink it into that area for her, but very calm, composed finish from Courts, and hopefully she's going to get many more. She'll be buzzing to have scored 2 there, so I'm really, really pleased for her.
Yeah, both well taken as well. That second one, you'd have been happy with that, wouldn't you, Mark?
Definitely, I would have been happy with any of them. Yeah, definitely.
So, 2-0 on the day. Let's get some reaction then. In a moment, you'll hear from the Sheffield United women's manager, Neil Redfern. But first, the scorer of both goals, Courtney Sweetman Kirk.
Absolutely buzzing. I think, the clean sheet you see in Bethan tip one onto the bar. I think I was in my own box at one point making a tackle. So, yeah, I think it was massive for the girls. The clean sheet was huge, and it was all about the performance. And I think you saw two sides of us. For the first half, we were very aggressive going forward. In the second half, we had to be more professional, and we used the squad. Rachel coming on, running the channels, and taking a bit of a whack in that bottom left-hand corner when you've got to manage the game and manage the minutes. So yeah, it was a massive, not just team performance, a squad performance, and it's the bounce back and reaction that we needed.
Red has mentioned that the team effort, everyone tracking back, yourself tracking back at the end. That is something this team, we saw it last season, particularly here at Bramall Lane. It's something this team does very well. When they need to, they really dig in.
Yeah, and it was huge, and I think we needed a reaction from last week. Look, we did the analysis, and it wasn't as bad as we thought, but equally, we wanted to make sure that when we came to the Lane, that we give them a big reaction in front of all the fans here. It was huge, and it was great to have so many people in, and hopefully that can continue.
Oh yeah, absolutely. We talked through the week about level of performance. We played well at Blackburn and should have got something. And sometimes in football that happens. But what you've got to be is consistent with your level of performance. And I thought today, determination to get over the line. Didn't have it all his own way first half. Durham, give us a good game. I thought they were good, Durham. But second half, I thought we were excellent and, fully deserved the 3 points.
Yeah, and Courts took some responsibility herself in a programme interview for last week. Today, she more than made up for it. Absolutely 2 real moments of absolute quality from the captain today.
Yeah, absolutely. I signed Courts at Liverpool, and whenever I'm in women's football, I'd sign her every day of the week, because she's got a big heart, and if you're going to score goals, you're going to miss, and that's the nature of a goal scorer, and you've got to be brave enough to keep getting in there, and what she is brave. You know, she took her goals really well.
We sometimes pick out individuals, but today it was a battle throughout. Everyone had to fight, and we saw that even Courts towards the end was tracking back inside her own box. Maddie, Bex, Rima, the whole defence, everyone was just absolutely on it today. Yeah,
I think there was a determination to get over the line. I think they felt a little bit of injustice last week, and I think they're right, to be honest with you. We should have got something from Blackburn, and they wanted to put it right today.
And a reminder that the women are on an international break this weekend, but they're back in action away at Sunderland next weekend on the back of taking 3 points off of Durham on Sunday. The men are hoping to take 3 points off of Reading this evening. And a reminder that with kick-off now just under 20 minutes away, you can watch the whole game live with us on SUTV Live. Just go to sufc.co.uk for all the broadcasting regulations, and you can purchase your match day pass there as well. Right, let's take a look at the team news going into tonight's game against the Championship's early leaders, Reading. Starting with the Blades, 2 changes, as we mentioned earlier, to that starting lineup. Anil Amahodic returns to the heart of the defence. Tommy Doyle comes in at midfield. James McAtee and Chris Basham are the 2 players to make way and drop down to the bench. But Reda Kadra also returns to give manager Paul Heckingbottom another option if he needs to change things up off of the bench. Let's have a look at the visitors, Reading. Paul Ince, the manager, 1 change for them. Forner drops down to the bench. The evergreen 32-year-old Junior Hoylett replaces him in the starting lineup. Mark Duffy, you'll have played against him, won't you?
Yeah, I've played against, you know, a lot of them players, and as you see, a lot of experience in that team. And it'll be a tough game, you know, they've got, as I say, a lot of experience, and Junior Hoylett has been a fantastic player over the years, and, you know, certainly a player that they'll have to look out for.
You look at the players in that starting 11, it remains to be seen exactly how they line up. But it does look, Ellie, as if they might play Hoylett and Ince off Lucas João. That would give them options definitely on the counter-attack.
Yeah, definitely. We've seen them kind of rotate around, you know, with the 9, almost playing sometimes with a false 10 as well. So I think having those 2 options behind João would be dangerous, and, you know, something that we'll have to latch onto defensively from a Sheffield United point of view. But, you know, Lucas João, in terms of what we know that he can produce in front of goal, if they, from a Reading point of view, can get him slightly higher and have the 2 guys behind him supporting, then, you know, that's a decent front line, I'd say, for Reading tonight.
Yeah, if memory serves me correctly, he did score back here in April. Certainly the Blades weren't. We wanted to see that here this evening. But Reading do come to Bramall Lane as a team in form, and we can look at their recent results now. 3 straight wins, Mark Duffy. I mean, we saw a disappointing Blackburn team, I think it would be fair to say, capitulate to the Blades the last time we were at Bramall Lane, but that really was the game that kick-started this run for Reading.
Yeah, and, you know, to win 3 straight games in the Championship at any stage of the season is tough. But, you know, anyone can beat anyone in this division, so that old cliche of taking the next game, you know, as it comes, this is the biggest game for them, and especially coming to Bramall Lane, it's a fortress for us, and they will know that.
What do we make of Reading, though? Because they're top of the table, and therefore they deserve credit and respect for that. But we said the same when Blackburn came here a week or 2 ago. You look at the result they had, Ellie, against Rotherham, and they got smashed 4-0 by Rotherham. Then they go on this 3-game winning run, don't concede a goal. So are they Jekyll or are they Hyde?
Oh, it's crazy the contrast between, you know, a 4-0 defeat, the nature of the Rotherham game, but like you say, it's not like they've bounced back and just been winning games. They've been keeping clean sheets, so defensively that's where you've got to start in terms of turning your results around, and they absolutely have, and then they're scoring at the other end as well, so something's changed and it's going right for them at the moment.
Well, we hope that stops tonight, obviously, but we did mention Lucas João as well, Mark. He's obviously found some form at the start of this season, and all too well Blades fans know about him from his exploits across the city. Yeah,
and, you know, obviously I've played against him as well, and he's got all the physical attributes that you'd want in a striker. You know, the size he's got, you know, the pace and the power, and he seems to be, when he gets into a bit of a rhythm of scoring goals, you know, he does have that, like, the hot streak, and once he gets into that, it's difficult to stop because of all the other attributes that he's got. Hopefully he doesn't do it tonight, though.
Absolutely. I wanted to draw your attention to Reading's record under Paul Ince. Right at the outset of the show, we mentioned that when he took charge, they were really threatened by relegation last season. He got a result here, but when you look at that record, they've clearly conceded more than they've scored, they've lost more than they've won, but do those stats lie?
It's you know, for me personally, I think he's done a fantastic job, you know, especially this season, where they are in the league. And Reading, as I said before, they was a sort of, you know, on a slippery slope, to be honest, and they were going further and further down, and then they was, you know, flirting with relegation and stuff like that, and you only have to look at the size of the club. They're a huge club, and one that should really be going for the, you know, promotion each year, and they sort of lost the way a little bit, and me personally, I think that Paul Ince has brought them sort of back, and that's no mean feat.
Well, let's look at some of their key players. Ellie, obviously, originally you're from the Reading area, so you may well know these players better than most, but there's experience there, there's potentially exciting, creative players there. Who stands out for you?
Yeah, Tom McIntyre, I've seen him come on a few times from decent player. You know, he's hungry for it. Every time he gets an opportunity, he wants to take it. And like you say, they've got options, and it is a real mixture of youth and experience, and it's good that those experienced players can guide these players through. But you know, you see some of the names there when they have come on, and they've taken their opportunity. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see.
Ellie makes a good point, doesn't she, there, Mark? Paul Ince has got a mixture of youth and experience, and in this division above all others, that's what you need to be successful.
Definitely, you know, you can have too many older players, and then when you come against the young, youthful players, they run the legs off you. But you can go the other way and have too many young players, and when you go through a bit of a tough patch, it's difficult to, you know, see that next win coming. So it's so important to have that balance. Well, the Blades have their own mixture of youth and experience as well, and one of those youthful players, Tommy Doyle, makes his first appearance from the start in the Championship this evening after a pre-season where he was frustrated with an odd niggling injury. He's now fully fit and raring to go.
Yeah, honestly, it felt really good to be back. Been training for a while now and been itching to get out there, so to finally get back out there with the lads was obviously brilliant, and it was a hard-fought point in the end. But yeah, we'll obviously take it and move on to the next game.
The next logical step for you now would be to try and get a start and hold down the place.
Yeah, of course, that's my goal. You know, like any footballer, you wanna play every game and play as many minutes as you can, and you know that is my goal. Obviously, I've been training hard on the pitch to try and prove to everyone that I'm ready, and yeah, hopefully it'll come. So we'll see.
Reading next, it'd be great if you could get a start there. It's first against second.
Yeah, of course. I think every game for us is a big game, you know. They're coming to Bramall Lane, which, you know, is not an easy place for them, and you know, we've just got to make sure we do everything right, and you know, with the fans behind us, I'm sure we'll give everything and try and win the game.
And August almost at an end now, such a hectic start. How's the lads and how have everyone sort of taken to the almost Saturday, Tuesday every week format?
Yeah, I mean, I think, listen, as a footballer, it's what you want to do. You know, you want to play as many games as possible. So you know, for me and the lads, it's obviously enjoyable that you can play every other day, really. And obviously for some of us, it's quite tough on the bodies. But you know, we're a fit group and we recover well, and we're always ready to go again.
We have less than 10 minutes to go to kick off here at Bramall Lane. The Championship's top two going head to head, and you can see all the action with us live right here on SUTV Live. All the details are there on your screen now. Go to www.sufc.co.uk to purchase your match day pass for full uninterrupted coverage. Mark Duffy, I want to speak about Tommy Doyle there, because just 20 years old, he's come over here from Manchester City on a season-long loan. James McAtee got the start ahead of him on Friday night. He gets his opportunity now. How important is that to him?
Yeah, definitely. As he said there, he just wants to play football, really, and you know, getting that opportunity to start a game tonight is massive for him. I thought he'd done really well when he came on the other day against Luton. Showed his quality and what he can bring to the team. And the difference for me with McAtee and him is sort of he's got that extra bit of experience of going out on loan before in the Championship, which McAtee's getting here, and it might take him a little bit longer to really hit the ground running, where I think Doyle's looked really well when he's come on.
Yeah, and Ellie, we talk about having competition for places. That's a classic example of it, isn't it? James McAtee got his chance. It didn't quite work out for him, so now there's somebody else waiting to take that opportunity.
Yeah, for sure. And the fact that he came on in the last game, Tommy Doyle, and played well, he's obviously put himself in the shop window, if you like, for selection tonight to be starting. So, you know, he mentioned in his interview he just wants to play games, and this is a perfect opportunity to try and cement his space in that team and hopefully get more starts under his belt. But there's definitely healthy competition all over the pitch, I think, which is credit to the team that's been put together.
Yeah, absolutely. And the man that's helped put that team together is the manager, Paul Heckingbottom. Let's hear from him for the first time tonight for his thoughts ahead of the challenge that lies ahead.
Yeah, everyone's fine, everyone's fit. Like I said, Reader back, which is good because he had a real good game for us in the game before at Bramall Lane. So, yeah, we're looking forward to it. Yeah, another team top of the league. It tends to be how it is, start the season. It's just nice that we're playing the teams when they happen to be at the top. You know, we like that, we enjoy that. We know it's going to be tough, as Reading showed last season against us as well. So we're preparing for that. We're preparing for a really tough game.
They had a chasing defeat at Rotherham earlier this season. I think they won every game since. What does that say about their character within their ranks?
Yeah, Bounce was actually at that game, so I've seen the best and the worst of Reading. I watched the Borough game. I watched the Blackburn game when they beat Blackburn, and yeah, I was at the Rotherham game where they were humbled really. They turned over, but Rotherham have done that to a couple of teams. Rotherham have been good as well this year, so I think he's already shaping the squad how he wants it, Paul, and I'm looking at changing people he's brought in and the experience, and there's one or two positions now where he's got different options in those positions where he'd have felt he wouldn't have had that at the back end of last season. And yeah, he's got experienced players who we can call upon now and make changes with, so it's looking a bit more like he would like, and I think that's why you're seeing that they've won 4 games already.
So Paul Heckingbottom there noticeably pointing out exactly what you were saying, Ellie. It's a luxury to have options in all positions, and if you're going to be successful in what is a gruelling championship season, you do need strength in depth.
Yeah, 100%. It's a long season. There's a lot of games. People, as we've seen with the current Blade squad, there are going to be injuries as well. So knowing that you've got strength and depth in the squad and enough quality to step up to the mark when needed is really important. And we've seen squad rotation has been key for the Blades already so far. And the fact that we've still been managing to be getting results with a variety of starting formations, if you like, is really good and it's positive.
And under Paul Heckingbottom, obviously the Blades have been so strong at home, not just the start of this season, but for much of last season as well. If you're an opposition player coming here, does that play a factor in your preparation?
Probably, I'm not so sure the preparation, but I think you'll feel that as a player when you play in. And it probably would, I suppose, play on your mind to come into such a place as the Lane. You know it's going to be a difficult place. We already mentioned earlier the effect of home fans kind of supporting the team and getting on the away team's back. So, yeah, once the whistle goes, Reading, going to concentrate on what they're doing. But from a Sheffield United point of view, it's nice that we're playing this fixture at home at this time, and we've got the support of the fans as well.
Well, you've played in an atmosphere that is unrivaled at Bramall Lane when the team's going well and pushing promotion. Mark, I'll ask you the same question. As a player playing for Sheffield United, how much of a difference does it make?
Oh, it's huge. It's huge. You can hear the crowd as you're in the tunnel, as you're about to come out, and you feel the atmosphere. The hairs on your neck stand up. You go out there, and just the atmosphere. It just gives you that lift. And once you get the crowd involved at a place like this, you feel like you can beat anybody. So I think it's so important to get the crowd involved.
What's the key then? If we're going to take all 3 points from Reading this evening, what do the Blades have to do?
Play the way we play, play aggressive on the front foot and really get after them. And as I said just before, get the crowd involved, get everyone excited and just go after them and raise the tempo.
Ellie, what's going to be the critical phase of this game from your standpoint if we're going to beat Reading tonight?
I'd say the same as well. Front foot, attacking football. We know that we're good going forward, so we really need to put that pressure on Reading. They do have a decent track record defensively in the games they've played recently, so let's test them, put them on the back foot and just get in their faces early doors, I think.
Well, we said earlier as well, didn't we, that a bit of a Jekyll and Hyde team. They haven't conceded in those last 3 games when they've won all 3. If they concede first tonight, Are they that brittle, or am I doing them a disservice?
No, well, it just shows. Well, obviously, you know, listen to the manager before. He said they got humbled away at Rotherham. It shows that, you know, they can crack under pressure. So you've got to put that pressure on them and see how they react. And as they showed at Rotherham, they folded like a pack of cards. So we want them to do that again tonight.
And as you can see, you're looking at live pictures of Bramall Lane. A reminder, you can see all the action with us right here on SUTV Live. Kickoff is just 3 minutes away tonight at Bramall Lane. You can go to sufc.co.uk to purchase your matchday pass and watch full, uninterrupted coverage of tonight's match between Sheffield United and Reading. It's prediction time. Ellie Wilson, you're the lady. You can go first. How do you see this going?
I'm going for a 2-1 Blades win.
2-1 Blades win. Mark Duffy.
3-1 Blades.
No doubt we're taking 3 points then from both of you.
Yeah, no
100%,
doubt.
yeah.
100% Ellie Wilson says, I'll take that as well. 3 points would see the Blades return to the top of the championship table. To find out if they can do it, remember, go and purchase your matchday pass at sufc.co.uk. And if you do so, in a moment, you'll hear from Kevin Gage. But first of all, your match commentator, Matt Young.
For the second successive home game, United face a team topping the table. And for the second time this season, Paul Heckingbottom's side will be looking to leapfrog their opponents in the championship standings. After dethroning Blackburn last time here at the Lane, United will be looking to do the same to Reading as Paul Ince brings the leaders to S2, looking to repeat their dramatic victory here last season. A hard-fought point at Luton, while Paul Heckingbottom will looking to end the month with a win, bidding to extend his side's impressive home form, which was the cornerstone to last season's success. Kevin Gage alongside me. The Blades have been formidable at Bramall Lane so far this season, but this, once again, is a very tough test, Kevin.
Yeah, it's a test because you look at the league table and then you see Reading at the top. But let's be honest, I don't expect Reading to be at the top of the table by the end of the season. So they've had a couple of good results, but this is a game Sheffield United, if they're going to have any ambitions to stay at the top and hopefully get promotion in